Rev up your engines!
Jordan Carlson said, would you ever go to the Joe Rogan Experience to talk about cars? No, because I don't go anywhere. I make 2 videos each and every day, right? I'm so busy thinking of ideas, trying to help people out, answering questions, doing live car talks, making videos. I only travel between Tennessee and Rhode Island when I'm switching houses back and forth 4 times a year. That's when I do my traveling, right? I don't travel around to go places. I'm here to help people out. I like helping people out, and I figure I can help people out the most by making videos that are relevant, answering the questions that people want. If anybody's near Clarksville, Tennessee, feel free, ScottyKilmer@gmail.com. Set up a time, meet me here in the mornings, Monday through Friday, and I'll go through all your stuff, help you out. That's what I spend my time doing. I don't have the time to travel around and do stuff. When I was younger, I did it and went around the country. And, you put so much energy into going and talking on something. What does it mean, I think I'm reaching more people and helping more. Sitting right where I am now, filming advice for people, answering their questions, than traveling around. Because when you travel, that's a complete waste of time if you're doing things like I'm doing. I travel to go on vacation every once in a while, right? But that's to see different scenery, and I'm not working now. Mick Milan says, Scotty, why is Chevy going to discontinue the Camaro for 2024? Thanks. Discontinued the Camaro years ago, and they brought it back again. Because people aren't buying enough of them. People don't really like sports cars anymore. They do not buy that many sports cars. Take the Toyota Supra, which is really a BMW, just that's BS. BMW makes them, right? It was a smart thing. Toyota didn't build their own. They didn't put any money into it. They just bought a BMW and put a Supra on it, right? They don't sell them, so they're not going to make them. Now they claim they're going to come back with 2025 electric versions and maybe a different gasoline version. Who knows? But it doesn't really matter because not that many people buy it. It's not something that people really get into like they used to. People used to really get, I got a sports car. Now people see them more as transportation. They don't care. The big sellers are SUVs and minivans and pickup trucks. Lego Jack says, is it possible to drive a car with the turbocharger removed? Well, you can disconnect the turbocharger, but it'll be slow. And the problem is, if it came with a turbocharger, the computer system is set up for that, and it won't run that well. You have to get it reprogrammed and stuff for a non-turbocharged car, and you have to change sensors and stuff. It would be a royal pain in the butt. If you got a broken turbocharger, you're better off just buying another turbocharger and put one on. Believe me, it would make more sense. It really would make more sense. Angelo's lead vlog says, Scotty, I want to buy a Benz for status. Okay, tell you what, I got a bridge for sale too. It's called the Brooklyn Bridge. You want to buy that? Buying a car for status is one of the dumbest things on earth to do. And anyways, Mercedes are passé. They're not even status cars anymore. They're not really status cars. You want a status car, you got to get a Bentley or something like that for $250,000, $300,000, right? And that's an even dumber move, Mercedes doesn't make cars like they used to. Now, if you won't listen to me and you want to buy a Mercedes, take my one advice. Make sure you get one that's made in Deutschland, that's made in Germany. Because the ones made in Alabama here are crap. If you do have to get one, make sure it came from Deutschland, so at least it'll be better made. It will have been made by Germans. Kyle Knight says, have you thoughts on the Maverick truck change? Mine's currently getting a software update for a turn signal recall. Well, I gotta say, I tried it out. Guy brought me one, and I thought, hey, it's kind of nice. I don't know, though, because it's made in Mexico. Well, guess what? They are made in Mexico, and they have problems. I would not buy one. From people that told me what they have. One of my customers had one, and he got rid of it and got a used 4Runner that had 100,000 miles, and he hasn't had any problem with that at all, right? And he had all kinds of problems with the Maverick. So, yeah, I gotta say, I would not advise buying one now. I've changed my mind on those entirely. Cloudstrike says, Scotty, I got a 2017 Honda CR-V that keeps having parasitic battery drain. I took it to the dealer. They replaced the battery and updated the system, but no luck. You took it to the dealer. They replaced the battery, updated the system. What a load of baloney. If you have parasitic drain, there's a problem of why you have parasitic drain. You have to fix it. And if they're not fixing the problem, putting the battery in isn't going to fix it. Watch my video, Fixing Battery Drain drain on your car. Find out what's wrong with it. Could be a million different things. You test each fuse in a fuse box using a little machine. I just did a video on one. This great machine that company sent me. It's $100, and it's great for finding parasitic drain. You got to go through the test. You just don't replace the battery, reprogram something. That's baloney. And Wynn says, Scotty, I just got in an accident and totaled my car. What used SUV can I get for under 10 grand? I need something temporary. Well, 10 grand isn't much for an SUV these days. You're going to take whatever's out there. You need something temporary. My advice is look at like Ford Explorers. They're not great, but you can get them used cheaper. You're not going to find a good Toyota or Honda in that price range because people went too much money for them. So maybe look at a Ford Explorer. Maybe not the greatest, but temporary could be okay. Primac 3D says Subaru Outback 2009. Popping driver's front when moving with new tires. Okay, if it didn't pop before, take it back. They probably didn't put the tires on right. I have seen so many times these days the tire stores hire young kids that don't know what the heck they're doing, and what happens? They don't even put the tires on right. You take a tire off, you're supposed to clean around the hub, make sure it's all level, put it on, and then you're supposed to use a torque wrench to make it the right tightness. A lot of these guys in a hurry, they don't do it. They don't do it right. If it didn't pop before, they screwed something up. There's no if, ands, or buts. Now, if it popped before, of course, it could be lots of things. Could be a CV joints going out, ball joint, tie rod, you could check that. But if it happened right after you got the new tires, odds are they didn't put them on tight. And I see that all the time. I had one the other day, a guy brought me over, a couple of the lug nuts are already starting to fall off because they vibrate while you're going down the road. Big and Roar XT69 says I got a 95 Chevy with a 350 TBI. Thoughts on the Edelbrock intake manifold to make the engine gain some horses. What I would advise you is there are companies out there that they make a fuel injection system that is better than that TBI on there. And you can dial them for all kinds of horsepower. My grandson put it on his Camaro. We tried one out. And I mean, that thing works like a charm. You can adjust it. There's a computer in the system that as you drive down the road, you want certain horsepower. It automatically adjusts itself while you're driving around to make it get more power. And if you want less power and better gas mileage, you can dial it down with the computer too. That's what I'd do if I were you. Jeremy Travis says, I got a 2010 Camry. I had the water pump and radiator replaced. 2 years later, I'm leaking coolant. Told it was a bad gasket seal. Is it worth fixing? 180,000 miles. Well, Toyotas are always worth fixing. Here is the thing. What I would do is, I like bar seal. It works great. Get some bar seal and pour it in. And if it's a thin little gasket leak, it'll seal it up and you don't have to worry about it again. I fixed many cars that way. Could be that simple of a fix. Taha Concepts, question from Canada. Any thoughts about a 2020 Mitsubishi Outlander GT with automatic? I'm thinking of buying it, but your thoughts? It only has 8,000 kilometers on it. That's like, what, 5,000 miles? But it's hardly any miles at all. And I'm not a Mitsubishi fan. But if you can get it at a cheap price, what the heck? Why not? And it lasts. Hey, Mitsubishis, I'm not a fan of Mitsubishis because they're a cheaper company. Their stuff isn't made all that well. They can last a while, and it's only got 8,000 kilometers on it. Have somebody check it out, make sure it wasn't a wreck, flooded, or stolen car. If it's that low mileage, it might have had problems. Do a little Carfax on it before you buy it. Oliver Frick says, Scotty, I bought a Toyota Yaris 09, and recently I went to a mechanic to tighten the handbrake. Afterwards, I realized they didn't even take the wheels off. Did they do it right? Oh, yeah, because the handbrake on that is a cable, and the cable has lock nuts, and then you just loosen the lock nuts, tighten them up, and put it in. He did it right there. You don't have to take the wheels off for that. The cable just stretches. It's an old vehicle, right? 2009. So, no, they didn't have to take the wheels off. They didn't have to. Madov says, hey, Scotty, is a 2024 Sienna XSE worth its cost? Well, I don't think anything's worth its cost new these days. That's why I always buy used, right? That said, my son's got a 2023 Sienna. That's a hybrid one. It was very expensive, but I told him, I said, look, you probably keep this thing for 20 years. So, what the heck? It's going to last. It's made by Toyota, and for a Vanek, it's phenomenal gas mileage because it's a hybrid, right? If you don't mind the money and you're going to keep it for a really long time, I'd always look for a used one because I'm cheap. If you want dependability and no worries and get a new one, whether they're worth that amount of money, I don't think so. I don't think any of them are. But at least you'd have security knowing you got a Toyota, the most popular van out there, and hey, they can run a really long time. I love this article. The rooftop solar industry could be on the verge of collapse. Well, there are hundreds of rooftop solar companies that have gone out of business. I had customers that had some put on, and one who was being put on, the company went bankrupt and left with half their roof done, right? Or ones that they had it and it broke, and now the company's out and nobody will fix the thing. thing. And then the people in California that put them out with the promises that, they're going to buy that electricity back at a really good rate so you can get your money back, blah, 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 blah. And then you find out California changes the law. Well, we don't have to pay you the market rate anymore for electricity. You might be paying 25 cents a kilowatt hour when you buy it from us. But when we buy it from you, we'll pay you 7 cents. This is creating a massive mess. There are now in the United States something like 60 gigawatts of unsold solar panels. That is a lot of power. Well, they got 60 gigawatts of solar panels lying around that nobody's buying. And in Europe, it's 90 gigawatts of solar panels they can't sell. So now, of course, the rooftop industry is just going to start collapsing down upon itself. People are going to realize we don't get the money that we put in, that the company's going to buy back, or it might not even work when you put it on. The company's going to go bankrupt. It's a helter-skelter mess. So my advice would be stay the heck away from these people. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.